Good morning, beloved. Peace be with you. Today, the instructions for the Mass highly encourage that there would be a brief homily given and then a period of silence to kind of keep soaking in this moment. So I am going to do that. I think I think the instructions come because there are certain experiences we have in life, which you and I know and have been through, where really there's no words that can express it or explain it adequately. In fact, to use words sometimes to try to describe certain experiences those words seem to take away from the experience that we had. Can you imagine standing there on Calvary and then going home trying to explain to somebody what you just experienced? What could you say? Now that's what we've been through, what we've touched upon at this, participating in this gospel in this way together. There's a certain air and moment and experience that just happens that you can feel, and what can you say about it? I think what we really want to make sure we do, though, is connect this experience we've just participated in, connect it with the part of the Mass where we always have this experience. And that is right there at that moment of consecration. The consecration of the bread and the wine into the body and blood of Christ, when the priest, he's holding the bread, holding the wine, saying the words of Jesus. And that moment in the Mass begins with the words, "On the night he was betrayed." On the night when he was betrayed. If we can train ourselves to let that line, that verse, trigger this gospel experience we just had together, how much more rich and deep will our experience of Mass be? And so that's what we want to try to do. Strengthen, deepen that connection, that moment in the Mass, every Mass that we celebrate, should bring to our mind and to our hearts, to our emotions, this experience we just had together in the gospel reading. The Mass is very experiential. It's meant to be experiential. That means if you and I are consciously participating in it, there's no way you could get bored. It's so rich, so deep. And the more you and I consciously participate in the Mass, the better experience we have. Was anybody watching? I'm already going longer than I planned. Did anybody watch the SDSU game last night? Now, if you were watching the game and all you did was sit there in your chair and just watch quietly and passively, and you never cheered, you never shouted, you never clapped your hands, even at the very last shot, you just sat there, or perhaps like some of us do in the Mass, how great of experience would you have had? And how much better experience when you are participating, you are cheering, you are clapping, you are booing the refs, or you are cheering the players. And at the last moment, at that last shot, you jumped up and were shouting as hard, "Yes! Can you believe it?" How much greater was your experience the more you participated? And that is so true of Mass. Really, all the liturgies of the Church are meant to be experiential like that. And so if we're not having a great experience of the Mass, part of it is always on us. There could be external things helping that, but it always comes down to us. What am I doing to participate? Because the more I participate, the better experience I will have. Even if those around me are dead and not participating, I'll have a great experience. And so we want to take this whole concept and build and deepen this connection of this gospel experience we had together with that moment in the Mass. As soon as we begin to hear those words, "On the night he was betrayed," just let all this experience, all those emotions hit you again. on the night he was betrayed. And watch how it's very simple to the mind, but profound to the heart. Watch how your experience of the Mass becomes better. And so now let us just continue with a moment of silence and keep soaking in this moment and keep building this connection between that moment in the Mass and our heart today.